Hey Mark, how you doing?
Good, Pat. It's
Hot day, huh?
been a
A bit of a hot day?
oh, you can say that.
Yeah.
It is going to be hot all week, I believe.
Yeah, I think it topped out at 42 Celsius with the Humidex here, and I played outside this morning. So, anyway, let's get at it.
Sounds good.
All right.
If it's pickleball in Canada, you found the podcast with Canadian pickleball players, pros, and addicts. Welcome to Pickleball Today, the podcast version of Pickleball Today.
Hey everybody, Pat Batty and Mark Bidorf here with Pickleball Today for our podcast episode number 6. How is everyone today? Mark, you're a little bit warm. You've been teaching all day.
Yes, I've been spending some time at the club, and let's just say the extra weather, humidity, everybody was sweating today.
I
So
bet.
it wasn't just the drills today making them sweat. The heat was making them sweat as well. But it looked like
Just
they put
standing
in
there with
extra
a
work on the court.
Yeah, just standing there would have done. I played outside this morning, but I played at 8 from 8:30 to 10. So it was warm, but it wasn't brutal, and it would have been brutal even an hour later. But you know what? There's crazy weather all over the place, all over Canada too. I mean, it looks like we're into another one of these summers, with fires here and floods here. And
Oh yeah.
I know Calgary's got a water issue right now. That's thankfully, it looks like the weather there is a little cooler right now, so that might
Mhm.
be good for that situation, but hopefully it's rectified. Anyway, everybody, thanks for joining us. We think this will be a little quicker, more interactive episode this week. We don't have tons planned, just a little bit between Mark and I. Hopefully we just have more of a conversation than a presentation than we've done. We're living and learning as we're doing this.
Yep.
And I appreciate the people that are watching regularly, and we've been getting quite a few. I appreciate it. The comments we've got, we do appreciate that too. We would love more comments just so we know that we're on the right track here.
Yeah.
We're
And
putting a
definitely
lot.
with the comments too, like any topics you want us to cover, something that maybe
Exactly.
you haven't heard about, and we can give
Exactly.
some advice on the Canadian scene on how that's looking right now, or
Yeah.
um, yeah,
Yeah.
any ideas, we're definitely open to it.
Yeah. And for those who are new this week, basically it's Pickleball Today. We cover Canadian pickleball, pretty much Canadian pickleball exclusively, or anything interesting to a Canadian pickleball player. We do cover the pros, but primarily Canadian leagues or Canadian players in the US leagues. But pros are not our main focus. We're basically covering playing pickleball, pickleball gear, the clubs in Canada, the tournaments, and whatever's of interest, paddles like that. So if it's of interest to a Canadian player, that's what Pickleball Today, the website, does, and also that's what Pickleball Today, the pod, does as well. Pickleball Today website. In fact, Mark, I'm going to just mention a couple little articles that we got up in the last couple days. Let me just go to my notes to refresh my memory. These are on the website, so it's pickleballtoday.co. Brand new articles. One is a new training video from Catherine Parenteau. Thank you, Catherine, again. And
Yeah, and
Athena.
that video is on like blocks and counters, I believe.
Yes, it is.
Yes,
Yeah,
which is very important. I actually was doing a drill just the other day, last night, on blocking,
right.
especially with the game being so fast paced now. Learning that skill on how to block at the net and the kitchen line is very helpful. So definitely check that out.
I enjoyed it. I mean, it was, well, there's always new stuff for me. I'm a level one coach, but a level one coach teaches beginners. So being a coach doesn't matter. Everything's kind of new. I'm probably a 3.0 or something like that player. And if Catherine Parenteau and her partner Athena, coach Athena, talk about it, usually they make it very clear and concise and kind of fun because Catherine's got such a pleasant personality as well. So that video is only about 8 minutes long. I recommend you check it out, pickleballtoday.co, and it's the most recent post. The other one I did this week was finally, and I was a little late on this, on the update on the CPA Pro Tour. I won't rehash that, but I will say my conclusion about it was just a great, great success for a start for a new tour in Canada. Having players all across Canada come together, play each other. Now, some of them get to play each other in the CNPL, and also having amateur players like me or others go in and play as well, and then have access to meet the pros and talk to them and get tips from them. It's a winning formula. And so the first tour stop this year is Toronto. They're planning 3 others. I do not believe they've announced any dates yet, but there'll be 1 other in Eastern Canada and 2 others in Western Canada. So a really, really solid start to what I think is a great idea. And it also, the fans there, because you have all these players playing, you've got a built-in fan base, and then you also had paying spectators as well. And it made it for a lively atmosphere as well.
Hi, this is Matthew Kawamoto. You're watching Pickleball Today, Canada's national pickleball news source.
One other thing, Mark, the weekend I watched a little bit of Major League Pickleball, and I'm not going to comment about the play in it. That's there's U.S. sites that'll do that. But I will say what I noticed is the fans are getting more and more and more excited watching these events. It was they were on fire. This was in Washington, D.C., and the fans were into it. There was especially women's doubles matches. Oh my goodness.
The women's doubles just seems to be the most intense.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, the number
there's a lot. The rallies are longer. The firefights are longer. Like it's fun to watch.
It was fun to watch in Oshawa with the CPA Pro Tour as well.
Yeah,
but I'll tell you what, the crowd at Washington, it was a bit. They don't. I don't know. They don't have thousands of people. They might have 1,000 or 900 or something like that. But they were on fire, and there was a bunch of kids there. Now, Major League Pickleball is similar to the CNPL in Canada, which is a team structure. So there were some kids there cheering for New York, and they were just wonderful. They were so intense. It was just like cheering for the Edmonton Oilers or anything else. They had their teams, and they were screaming at the top of their lungs and having a ball. And, that's kind of the shape of things to come when you start a new spectator sport like this. Yep. We know it's participation sport, but also as a spectator sport.
Yep.
Seeing kids get into it to that level was just a lot of fun.
It's one of those things that's growing more and more. And I think the spectators like to come out for the team stuff. In particular, because you kind of get behind the team, you get behind your local city or club or that sort of stuff. So I think that's why the team environment is working for more spectators than just the individual.
When it's just individual players, I mean, you may have your favorites or not. Like Catherine is one of my favorites, but also the events when Ben Johns is there, I find it not quite as interesting. Because, he was winning all the time. Well, he's not now. So he's not winning all the time now. And then when it's him and Annalie Waters were winning all the time, well, it kind of made final Sundays kind of boring. So to me, it was more interesting when they weren't there, or these team competitions, again, where they're not even, I can't remember right now if they're on the same team. I don't think they are.
No. Yeah, they're not on the same team. But essentially, like you said, it evens out the playing field more, the team events. So I think that's why it's more enjoyable, because you're actually thinking, I don't know who's going to win this match.
Yeah.
And then when it goes back and forth, you're like, oh, who's going to pull it out?
Exactly.
So
we watch sports. I watch sports because I like the excitement of it. I don't know. I kind of feel it in my chest a little bit and get into it. And I have a favorite. In certain sports, I may put $20 down on it too. I can't do that in pickleball in Canada, but you can in the States, I believe.
I think there is a little betting or something came out in the States
for a while. Yeah, and
I'm not sure if it's still around or not. But
I think they stopped for a while because everybody was just betting on Ben and Annalie. Yeah. So I don't know what they've done about that. So, but anyway, not here in Canada at this point. So.
No.
But I tell you what, it is getting more fun to watch. Pickleball TV, if you for anybody who's interested. You can see the games there. The Canadian tours are on. We've simulcasted them on our own website frequently.
Yep.
CNPL and CPA Pro Tour each have stuff on their site. When they're live, CBC's been covering it on CBC Sports on their website, not necessarily on broadcast TV, although I know some has. And then the Games Network, I had it on live at the CPA Pro Tour last week. Game TV, pardon me, in Canada. So we're getting lots of options. Even Amazon Prime has some stuff on sometimes, or Prime Video.
Mm-hmm.
So there's lots of options to watch, and again, more and more. And it is getting a lot of fun. I'm hoping to get to an MLP event this summer, one in Grand Rapids, Michigan, which is
yes.
Yeah. That's in about 2 or 3 weeks.
Yep, you're talking about that one.
Waiting to see if I have my media credentials lined up, and if so, I'll go. But it would be fun. That's a bit of a hike. Well, not too bad. It's like about a 6-hour drive, I think, from here.
It's about as close as you're going to get for us to get to one.
It is. Yeah, it is.
So,
it is. New York is the next one around here, or Cincinnati, but they're not playing in Cincinnati this year. APP was. That's already done. PPA will, again, next year. They're refurbishing the courts where they play at. So anyway, so that's kind of it on an early stage, Mark.
Hey, Hannah Phil here with Pickleball Today, Canada's national pickleball news source.
You had a tournament this past weekend, right?
Yes, we held a singles tournament at the local club that I work at, and Pat's a member at there in Corte in Kitchener.
Right.
And it was a lot of fun. Big hit. The members really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I enjoyed. I wasn't there for the whole thing, but but I enjoyed what I was. I do not play singles. Maybe you. I know you said you want to get me to try.
Yeah.
So I'll give it a shot, but I haven't yet. I'm still trying to,
I don't think you're going to become a singles expert.
Yeah.
But
sure.
Playing singles does help your doubles game on, working lines and placement and your drive shot. So, playing it once in a while, it's always going to be beneficial to the game.
I am going to follow your advice. You're the master. I am not. So I'm the grasshopper. Hey, speaking of grasshopper, let me talk about our sponsor this week. The sponsor being, I don't know, can you see this okay, Mark? I don't have my screen up to see here.
Yeah, I can see the big crown there.
Big crown pickleballs. And you know what? We're loving these guys. I played with these outdoors yesterday and today in the brutal heat. Because you wonder, right? What's a ball like this going to be like? These are not expensive pickleballs.
Yes,
if you're
definitely
hosting a tournament or something, you might want to buy the Duras or whatever tournament kind of balls. But for a recreational ball, these are not expensive. Yet I wondered, because we only got them in last week, and I wanted to try it out in the brutal heat. And that was one of the reasons I've been out there for a couple of days, and they went over well. And as I said today, it got up to, well, didn't heat the high temperature when I was there, but it would have been in the 90s or mid 30s, even when I was there. And these held up fine. The people liked them. So Crown Pickleball, and now we are an official supplier in Canada. And now, I don't know if I even told you, Mark, now we have the website, crownpickleball.ca officially. With the blessing of Crown. Yeah.
Oh, okay, sweet.
With the blessing of Crown, and Kevin at Crown is all with us on this. He's going to come on as a guest in the next couple of weeks as well to tell about his journey, because it's been an interesting one. And he's a bit of a character. I mean, I think I'm a character, and I think he might be more. So it should be fun.
It sounds like an interesting guest to have on then. We'll get some good stories.
Yeah, he's out in the West Coast, and very nice guy. Been at this for a number of years now. It was a passion in the sideline. It's turned into a big side business for him. I can't imagine how much stock they have because when they ship, they're shipping big boxes of stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, we like Crown. I'm happy with them. We've got a bunch of them, and if anybody wants them, you can get a bundle of them of 100 balls for about $240 something. Right?
It was $242, I believe, was the final price on
242,
that.
and that's Canadian dollars.
Canadian, yep.
With no duty, the duty and everything is covered automatically by Crown. I don't even know how they do that.
Yeah.
Because they do ship from the States, but you're not going to get a bill for duty.
Yeah.
And taxes, was that including the tax?
Yes, that's final taxes, shipping, everything was in that 242.
So basically $2.40 all in for a pickleball. If you go to Canadian Tire, you can buy some pretty crummy balls for about $15 for 3.
Yeah.
And these I guarantee are superior. These are like kind of like the Franklins and
very similar to the Franklin.
Yeah.
I feel like if you threw it into a game and didn't tell anybody, I don't know they would notice unless they picked up the ball and saw the crown.
Yeah.
Other than that, they might not notice the difference. So
yeah. Now I will say, when the weather is really, really hot outside, just like any other pickleball gear, you don't want to store it in your car for 3 or 4 hours.
No.
I guarantee the balls will get a little soft if you had them out there, or your paddles, by the way.
Paddle, the paddle the glue and everything that's in the paddles, they can start to separate.
Yeah. Yep. So especially, I mean, we are getting into this kind of weather right now that the inside of a car, I have a black leather interior for that matter. So, I mean, it gets like a fireplace in there for a while. If I left my pickleball gear in there for a day, I don't know how damaged it would get, but I know it's not going to help it. That's for sure.
Yes, I would agree.
Yeah. So just a warning when we get there, and obviously
it's a good tip. It's a good tip to just put out there. Just remember during the heat season, we want to make sure we're taking our bag in and out every time with us and bringing it into the house. Don't even leave it in the garage. You just got to come into the house. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, so this is going to be probably our shortest episode. We're trying a few things. We want to see how, the hour episode does, the 45-minute episode, maybe the 30-minute one. I'm hoping, I don't know. I didn't see the timer on this right now.
Yeah.
But you were going to talk about calling balls, by the way, while we're on
we're on the topic of balls right now, and say that crown ball, is close to the sideline. It's always like, who's supposed to call that ball, right, Pat? In your partnership, that's something you should agree on ahead of time. The default rule is always trust your partner, because you can call a ball out and still hit it if it bounces.
Yeah.
Which is very unique for a sport to allow something like that. Normally, if you hit a ball that has went out, it's in. It's counting as in because you've hit it. So I always tell everybody that's learning the game or in the game, or they're doing a tournament with a new partner, it's your partner's responsibility to call those balls out for you. And I want you to just focus on still hitting the best shot possible. And if they call it out, you still are going for the shot, and then it's out. Because you still want to play the ball like you would normally, instead of being like, oh, is that going to be in or out? I'm going to wait and see. And then you hit a soft, weak shot back because it actually caught the outside of the line. You're like, oh, crap. And you kind of lose some advantage there.
Right.
Now,
I'm notorious for not. When I'm hitting the ball and it's a close one, I try to let my partner do it. I just find I'm so focused on just trying to hit the darn thing.
Yeah.
Unless it's obviously out, I keep my mouth shut.
Yes. And that's what you should do. Only one person, that's a very good point. Only one person should ever make the call. And that's why I always say your partner. Because if you say out, but your partner says in, guess what? It counts as in, because you always default to in before you can default out.
I agree with that. So, I mean, I didn't know that was a rule, but I've always thought it was a courtesy. If you guys can't agree on your own, well, then give it to the other guys.
Exactly.
I've seen it go the other way, that they can't agree on their own.
Usually people are trying to go the other way. Oh, you saw that one out?
The benefit of the doubt, right?
Yeah. No, exactly.
Yeah,
and the other one, too, is we're talking sideline, baseline, out calls. Yeah. But there's the high ball that's going out as well that a lot of us hit, every once in a while. And that's the same point as your partner should call the high ball for you as well. Because usually they have a better angle on it because they're not hitting it. So I actually don't say the word out. I was trained never to say the word out when I first started. I always say no.
And I say ole.
So, hey.
Ole, like, let it go.
Yeah.
I kind of like the ole idea. It's like, leave it.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you say out, are you technically calling it out then?
Yes. And that's where in a tournament play, you could get called on it because once you say out, the rally's dead at that point.
Right.
Because the other team technically stops because you called out. So
so what we're saying is you're trying to warn your partner.
Yes.
It's out, so don't swing at it. But if you do that by saying out, that could go against you if you're in the tournament.
So essentially like I said, you say the word no or allay or let it bounce.
Yeah.
Long. I've heard that term.
Yeah. Exactly.
Whatever term it is.
Something
and then you can always say out after the rally's done and be like, oh, that was out.
Yeah. Speaking of communication, even watching the pros when I was at the CPA, they're talking a lot during a point, and even if it's just saying you, like when the ball's going, it's coming and there's a decision to be made. That one player will say you for the other person to get it. They're doing that, so don't be shy about that neither. I tend to find at the rec level we're not doing that nearly enough.
No, you're right. The rec level, you don't do it pretty much at all.
Yeah.
And as you get over that, I want to say 4.0 type level is where you start to hear a lot more communication. And the idea is by me saying you, then you can go full out on that.
Right.
That you're taking that, right? So you try to say it as early as possible to give your partner to hit their best shot possible,
right?
Instead of both being awkward, like who's going to go for it, right? So
I like the idea. Also, the fact that I'm a lefty, I always warn my partner, especially in a social play situation where you're playing different people all the time. I warn him that I'm a lefty, but also by me communicating it helps with confusion, because there tends to be a little bit of more confusion with people that are playing lefties when they don't, I don't know what it is. Maybe 10% of the people are lefties. I don't know, but they're not doing it as often. And so there's a lot of times they'll say, I forgot you're left-handed or something like that. So the more you communicate, the better.
I would agree.
Right. Hey, I got some interesting tidbits this week. Port Elgin, there's a club up there. Oh, goodness. I'm drawing a blank on the name, but it's at the Lakeshore Recreation. I guess it's Port Elgin Pickleball Club. Lakeshore Recreation Banquet and Fitness. They have just expanded to 16 outdoor courts, which is one of the bigger outdoor settings in Ontario. They're right.
Sure.
Port Elgin on Lake Huron. Beautiful area, I must admit. I wish I would have bought a cottage up there a long time ago. I love it up there. I shouldn't say up there. It's anybody. People could be anywhere in Canada that are listening. But anyway, it's a really nice spot. But they're expanding to 16 courts, so well done for them. I also was talking to some people in Toronto today, earlier. It's called the Fairgrounds. You know of it, Mark?
Yes, you know the Fairgrounds.
So they have now 2 locations. The one was at Cloverdale Mall, all indoor. I'm going to actually go visit next week and have a look around and play some games with one of the people there.
Oh, nice.
Take advantage of a trip to Toronto and do a couple other things too. And but look around. I'll do a video or something while I'm there as well. They are a very active club. They're not really a membership-oriented club. It's a pay-as-you-play, but they have like a 90% booking rate with what I'm not sure how many courts they have. I can't remember now. They probably mentioned it, but that place is pretty full. And it's just because there's such a lack of facilities in Toronto for such a big population.
The problem with Toronto is the real estate is so expensive to be able to put in these clubs that they're just so limited on court times and court space there that I could see this place being very busy.
Yeah, and their other one is, I guess, open more recently. The other one's an outdoor spot, and I'll find out more about that too. I'm not going to go to that one, but going to go spend an hour, well, probably 2.5 hours, play some pickleball, and then do a video and an interview, and maybe invite them onto the podcast at some point as well. It's a big group, that's for certain. So. A couple other things that I'm aware of right now, 60 Paddles, who we've sold a lot of. They're coming out with a lot of new products all of a sudden. I'm really pleased that I aligned with them as the company that I could sell for, and we are adding some other brands as well. But they're one that has really separated themselves from the pack. You know, they were new about 14, 16 months ago. They're one of the first thermoform paddles that came out. Pickleball Studio guys loved them, rated them as the best paddle last year.
That definitely helps.
that helps because they have a big following, right?
Yep.
Anyway, they are building their own factory now. So talk about moving away from the pack. They also now have, I don't know, 5 or 6 different models. Just today, they've launched another colorway of the kind of the world famous double black diamond. This one is a pretty neat color. It's green and yellow. So it's in honor of Australia. They're an Australian company.
Yeah.
They do all their R&D in Australia, but they don't manufacture there. The new factory I don't believe is going to be in Australia, but they do a lot of work there. And so this was in honor of Australia. So green and yellow colorway, that was available at 6:00 today. I should say today being Tuesday, people won't see this video till Wednesday, but they may still have some if anybody's interested.
Yeah. They're
also coming out with a 14 millimeter ruby. The ruby is one that I've sold more of those than any other paddle. And the 14 millimeter promises to be a little bit more powerful paddle than the existing one.
More pop maybe to it or something.
Yeah. Still same look, beautiful. You know, the red Kevlar, the white.
It kind of looks like a Canadian paddle, the red and white theme.
Yeah, I like the ruby. I think it's that one along with that purple Selkirk amped paddle are the best.
Oh, you love that color of purple really hits nice.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah,
I like it. Anyway, so they have 14 millimeter ruby. I'll send an email out. I don't know the date of that one off the top of my head. And then they're coming out with a value line. Again, they're being a kind of a full marketer of a wide spectrum of paddles. And the value line is called the Quartz, and it's going to be in different. So every one of them is like a gem or whatever. So you got diamonds and rubies and quartz and all that. Anyway, the Quartz is a value paddle. Oh, the other one's sapphires. They're earlier, less expensive one. Quartz is going to be a carbon fiber, raw carbon fiber paddle, but in under $100 price range.
Ooh.
Yeah. And multiple colors and things like that too. So that's about it today. We kept it pretty tight. Did you have anything?
Hi there, this is Christina Chin, also known as Pickleball and Ice. You're here with Pickleball Today, Canada's national pickleball news source.
Well, we mentioned Pickleball Chicks. We had her on last week, and they filled their tournament, I believe.
Yes, she was at the club last night.
Yeah.
I saw Sharon in person there, and she told me the good news that their tournament next weekend's all full, and she's pretty stoked about that. So
good.
Good. It was nice to meet her in person as well.
Yeah,
very nice lady.
Yeah, she is, and I liked her attitude. I liked what she's trying to do and the message and all.
Mm-hmm.
And happy to help. If anybody else needs a little help and wants to come on, let us know. We'll happily, if we get you, especially at least a month and a half in advance, please let us know, and we'll happily try to get you into one of our shows. As far as upcoming podcasts, tournaments, we've covered a lot of them. I'm trying to only cover ones now that registration is still open.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So then they can see something and be like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, so with that, we're talking end of June up until end of July or beginning of August here. I can see that Whistler, BC has what's called the WRC Canada Day Classic. And that's part of Pickleball Canada type tournament. They have 170 people there. That would be a nice place to play on a summer June day. Now that's the end of June. Wouldn't that be a lovely spot to do that?
Oh,
I like Whistler.
yes. I'd love to go up to that one.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Let's see. Well, I've talked about the good games before. I've talked about True North. I'll skip that. Calgary Pickleball Center we mentioned. This is one I don't think I mentioned earlier. This is in Alberta, Sherwood Park, Alberta. It's called the SPCA Members Only Tournament. It's SCPA, pardon me. And that's Strathcona County Pickleball Association. They have a members only tournament July 6th and 7th. Well, I guess that's closed to just members, but they have 140 people in it, so they must have a number of members. Alberta Championships, July 11th to 14th in Red Deer. The Shake and Bake in Burnaby, BC, July 12th to 24th. Montreal Open, EULA EPA tournament. We've mentioned it before, but it's still open July 12th to 14th in Montreal, Quebec. Let's see here. This is a different one we've not mentioned before. Again, out in BC, the Youth Summer Slam.
Oh,
2024. Yeah, July 18th.
That's cool that they got focused on the youth.
Yep.
That's one thing. Even at our club, all of a sudden we've started to get more interest from the youth, and I'm doing more and more junior lessons lately. So
I've seen some of the kids, and boy, it's so nice to see. I just enjoy it. I really do. Let's see. Probably about 4 more here. July 18th to 21st, other side of the country, Fredericton, New Brunswick, and that's the New Brunswick Provincial Tournament. Again, 18th to 21st of July, 270 players. That one looks registration is still. Sorry, I lost my scrolling here. Registration is closed for that. My mistake. Couple others to do. Boy, we got a lot in BC and Alberta. I've talked about all of those, so I will skip those. 1 or 2 more that I haven't mentioned. Augusta Township in Maynard, Ontario, Canada. Hello, Maynard. And there's 121 players. July 27th to 28th. And it's called the Community of Opportunity Pickleball Tournament. Anybody who hears about their tournament, if you hear about it here and you want to send us a note about it or any results, feel free.
Yeah, we'll give some shout outs. Definitely want to hear how you guys are enjoying it.
Yeah, no, we haven't gone this far out in duration before, but here we go, August 9th. The Classique Estival de Québec de Mordu du Pickleball. I don't know what Mordu means, but anyway, it's in Quebec City, August 9th and August 11th. They have 322 players for that one. It's a big one.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Even people from outside the area, that would even be a fun weekend just to play in it and then explore Quebec City. That's
Quebec
one of
City
Canada's
in the middle of August or early August. That would be lovely.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Fraser Valley, August 10th and 11th, Surrey, BC. Boy, we've got a lot out west. St. Albert. St. Albert is Alberta, right? Am I right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. St. Albert, Alberta, August 16th to 18th. Another one in Quebec, the Pickleball Canada Regional Championships, August 10th and 11th. I'll just do two more here because it's been a short show in general. Here's one, Picton, Ontario, Prince Edward Pickleball. So it's Prince Edward County. Second annual. They've got 84 players, August 17th and 18th, and they're still taking reservations. Bedford, Nova Scotia. I've been to Bedford. I rode my bicycle through. Oh my goodness. That's the provincial championships. Pardon me. It's the national championships in Bedford. Sponsored by Think Turkey. And 885 players registered for that tournament. So August 20th to 24th. So even if you're not playing, boy, that'll be worth going to see.
Yeah.
And
that's pretty cool that Canadian nationals are in Nova Scotia. Like that's pretty neat.
It is. Yep. I mean, it's just a way to get the whole thing, moving. Now, Nova Scotia, there is a lot of pickleball out there.
Yep.
But I mean, it's not all about Alberta and BC as much as we love Alberta and BC. And by the way, I will be cheering for Alberta in about an hour.
Edmonton
Oilers. I'm hoping I'm on their side.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's about it for today. We kept it a little bit tighter than the past. I do want to thank Crown Pickleball for their sponsorship and the balls. And if you want to check them out, please do. Yeah, one thing for us though, folks, please let us know what you think of our show. Give us a like, give us a follow wherever you get your podcast. Follow it, and that way you'll get notification of them. Anything you can do like that helps us get more visibility. And believe it, that's part of the biggest challenge of this right now. There's not tons of pickleball podcasts in Canada, but there are tons of pickleball podcasts, period. The thing is, if people don't know about you, it doesn't matter whether you're in Canada or not. So the more you like, follow, share, comment, anything you can do just helps with the algorithms for us to be shown to more people when they're searching for pickleball. And that's it for me today. Be sure to check out our articles on Pickleball Today, pickleballtoday.co. And for Crown Pickleballs, great deal, $240 some for 100 balls, shipped to you all in. Share them with a bunch of people. Makes for a great, you've got everything you need for the year pretty much right there at a lot better price than you're going to get anywhere else. So what do you say, Mark? Should we go watch the Oilers?
I'm ready for the Oilers game. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Go Oilers. We're cheering for you. I know some people don't, but we are. Everybody, thanks again for joining us. Thank you, Mark. Thank you again. I appreciate it, and we kept it a little tighter than normal. So that's awesome. That's a good job. Bye, everyone.
You've been listening to Pickleball Today, the podcast version of Pickleball Today, Canada's national pickleball news source. Pickleball, obviously, is our passion. And no matter what it is, if it's happening in pickleball in Canada, we're your premier source to bring it all to you. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. Find our website at pickleballtoday.co. On Facebook at PCKL Ball Today. On Instagram at pickleball_today. On YouTube at Pickleball Today Canada. And on Twitter at Pickleball Today. See you next time.